Film isn't exactly as easy as people make it out to be. It takes a lot more than just having a camera and telling people to do stuff in front of it. There's so much more that you need to have, so much more skill that you need. You need to be intellectual to understand all the equipment that's going on and what you're working with. You gotta be able to take command and get these deadlines because everything is on such a strict schedule. You gotta be able to be adaptable because at any given moment you could screw up a shot and not realize it till later, then your entire schedule's messed up. You gotta adapt to that. But most of all, you really have to be able to understand and be empathetic with your audience, because if you don't understand your audience, then what's your film going to be able to do for them? How did I get here? Well, to make a long story short, I really just, I loved films as a kid, and I loved entertaining people. And I felt like it was my purpose to put out smiles on people's faces and touch their hearts and be able to just make them feel happy. And considering that I loved film, I decided, well, that's what I'm gonna do. I'll just put two and two together, carve my own path. So eventually, come my senior year, after a lot of years of looking up tutorials and making my own little crappy films, hello?
I can smell you.
I finally made a short film called Vigilant with a good friend of mine, Dylan, who turned out to be a long-term friend and a long-term co-worker as well. So he and I made this sci-fi film, and it was great. It was one of the greatest things I'd ever created at the time. So after that, we went to college. I went to Valencia Community College, and it was interesting. It was not the school, but just the experience of going to college. It was different. It was just new. And while I was there, I learned how to actually not procrastinate and not be so lazy. You know, there's some places like the Academic Success Center there that really helped you just push through and get what you need to get done. You know, also some of the professors there are great, you know. She's probably watching this at some point, but Professor Caitlin Brooker, she was a fantastic professor. She really helped me get through college. So, helped me plan out my path and all this other stuff. So, after all that, I couldn't actually take my film credits there. So what I ended up doing was taking my general AA, and after I did that, I transferred to UCF for a film bachelor's in arts. It was difficult. It was very difficult, but I ended up doing it. I won a couple film competitions. The cost of it all was big. It was a lot bigger than I expected it to be. Though it is college, so I mean, it's always going to be a big cost. Let's see, Valencia cost about $2,400 in tuition, and UCF cost maybe like $6,400. And then those two put together, plus all the room and board and transportation and all that stuff, cost maybe around $37,400. It was a lot. But I'll tell you what, it was definitely worth it. It was definitely worth it. And now I'm able to do what I want with my films. I'm going to go back to what I said earlier about film and the fact that it's not as easy as people make it out to be. In my role alone as the visual effects artist, I I have to sit very, very long hours. Now, I know that doesn't sound like much, but I have to sit there and I have to rotoscope and I have to, work with these clips. Very tedious, very pristine, precise work that you have to get just right so that the director and the producer are happy with it, because it's their vision. You got to make sure that what you put into their shot is what they envision. You have to know lots of programs. For example, Sony Vegas or Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere, which are basically all three the same thing, but they all take different files. So you got to know which one's compatible with which, and this and that and the other. And if somebody has Macs instead of PCs, then you have to be able to work with Final Cut instead of Sony Vegas, and it's just a big doozy. I mean, other things like Adobe After Effects are major and complex, and it's just, you need to know every little bit of it, and it's such a complicated process to get through, and nobody realizes it, how much work actually goes into these films. There's a saying by Wayne Gretzky that you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. I have been told numerous times that the path that I'm taking is insufficient. I'm going to be ruining my life if I continue down the path of becoming a filmmaker. That a very, very small amount of people who pursue this actually become successful. Though, just like the saying, if I don't try, then I'll never be able to experience the slightest bit of what I want to in life. If there's even a 1% chance that I can become what I want to become, then I'm gonna take it, because otherwise, what will I be able to do for this world? What is my purpose? What was I meant to do if I can't make films for people? So if anybody ever tries to shut you down on what you want, don't let them. Continue doing what you want to do, because it's your life and nobody has control over it. Nobody except for you.